Hi, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome to episode 33 of Aussie Clough, our bid to return Forest to the top of European football. And welcome to the end of our first stunning season in the Premier League, where we are in the Champions League, so one major step closer to our goal. Now, since last episode, where we absolutely dismantled North London, that was wonderful stuff. Just the one game to catch up on, away to Leicester City. We only had 3 shots on target in this game. So the scoreline of 3-0 is a little bit flattering to us, but we seem in total control. We were never really in trouble. And what we were doing in this game, as you can see, is we were giving some game time to squad players. Kasaja, the name I will never be able to pronounce, we gave him a start, see how he got on. Jack Cox got a start. You can see we had Mason and Charlie Clark in midfield as well. The only really bad news to come out of the game is Mariano Ortiz picked up an injury, semi-serious actually. He's pretty much out for the summer. I think it's 2 or 3 months. It might have been a torn hamstring. But yeah, you can see we gave Les Lloyd a game, didn't really come off for us. Jordan Sawyer as well, we gave him a start, didn't really come off. But everybody else was quite good, and it was a pretty good win, if I'm honest, given the circumstances. So if we look at the league table, we can see we are guaranteed third spot ahead of this game. We can't go up, we can't go down. So I think all in all, a very successful season. So what we're going to do here is we're going to wrap up against Stoke, at home to Stoke, and then at the end of this episode, we'll have our end of season awards and, of course, goal of the season as well. So make sure you stick around for that. Of course, you'll be able to vote on Twitter for your favourite of those goals. But this is the team we're going with. Once again, we're giving some players some game time. So it's Vazquez in goal. It's Cox, Kazaja, I think we'll go with that, and Ed Sheeran across the back. Tentatively, this could be our defensive three next year. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Scando and Toth go down the wings. Mason and Clark in midfield. Bennett in behind Elazar and Callum Mosley, who comes in for Ortiz, and it was a 7 weeks, 10 weeks. It was a torn hamstring for Ortiz. So we'll rest him up. He'll be back fighting fit next season, I'm sure. Okay, so we can see the way Stoke's lining up. They're a little bit defensive, aren't they? Very much. It's almost an attacking unit and a defensive unit. I think Stoke were in the relegation battle. I meant to check before we started this game, but they were certainly just outside before this game started. Now, with nothing to play for, I always think it should be an assertive team talk. We should be winning this one comfortably. I expect a win. I think we'll do that. Some calm faith before we go out there, and hopefully we'll finish what has been a fantastic season on a high. Alright, here we go. Now, a couple of things to discuss from next season. There was a comment, I think it was Wait for Pizza. Fantastic name. He was saying that we should strengthen the right wing back, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. The problem I have is that I thought Toth was, given that we signed him in League One, was maybe the man to go, but we've seen the last sort of half of the season almost, he's been an absolute assist machine. But I do think we need to strengthen there, which makes me think maybe we look at Njoku to leave potentially. I think what I'll do and what I said in the comments is we'll see what's available through the summer. If there's a big upgrade at right wing back that we can get, I'm not completely sure what sort of players we're going to have available to us because we are obviously a Champions League club now, not necessarily a big one though. So I don't think we'll be able to get sort of the absolute world-class top-of-the-line players, but we'll definitely be able to get better quality players than we were able to last season when we came up. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see there. And I think we could probably do with this well played by Toth defensively there too. Look at that. We could probably do with an upgrade at left wing as well, to be honest. Someone to back up Scando. Maybe even an upgrade on Scando, if I'm honest. Scando's been very, very good in the Premier League this year, but you do wonder if we could do a little bit better, though he's still young and improving. There's a good cross headed away, though. There for Lawrence Bennett. Back for Scando. Look at the space he's in. There is Scando. The back post to Toth. Go! Any strengthening at wing-back, though, is going to be very good players, aren't they? As we're discussing them when they're futures at the club. One to the other, and that's 1-0 to Forest. So I've been, sort of making a sort of rough list of players that I think we may not see next season. So let me know what you think of anyone that we should keep or that you think definitely should leave. I'm thinking Louis Mars, he's been great, but we might say goodbye to him at the end of this season. Jordan Sawyer, our backup target man, he is a 3-star player, so he's a standard sort of Premier League player. I'm wondering, I don't know if we should maybe keep him. He's on relatively low wages. We'll see how we go there. Lewis Brunt, of course, the midfielder we signed from Villa in League One. His time at the club, I think, has come to an end, so we'll be saying goodbye to him this summer. I'm looking to do a bit of a clear out because a lot of the players that we signed, I was expecting to spend a season or two more in the Championship trying to fight to get out of that, and having gone straight up, look at that, Kasaja. Having gone straight up, we kind of got stuck with players that aren't really good enough for the Premier League, if I'm honest. So we'll try and do a little bit of a clear out. I think defence is where we'll see the biggest clear out. Suter, I think we're going to let him go. Oh, what a strike that is! Elazar off the post. That would have been a goal of the season contender for sure. Unlucky. Suter wasn't registered for the second half of the season, you may have noticed. So we might look to get him out. Bit of a dived-in tackle there. Cox is there, though. Well, look at Mason. Well positioned to clear that. Oh, Charlie Clark. So I think Suter will go. Davidson, we know, is already leaving. Mooney, he was an academy kid, just not good enough. He'll be on his way. Now, Njoku and Da Silva Lopez. Da Silva Lopez is versatile, so I'm more likely to keep him just someone on the bench that can play a few positions. Njoku, I'm not sure what to do, as I said. We'll have to wait and see what's available in the summer. We'll say we haven't been fantastic. We've been okay, though. Guard against complacency. We'll do a few individual team talks here, and then we'll come back and continue our discussion. So Da Silva Lopez, more likely to keep him. I don't know basically what's going to happen at right and left wing back. If you have any other suggestions, like waiting for Pizza said, I do think right back on paper is something we could do. Oh, that's poor defending. Vazquez, what a save from the big Australian. I do think that there is an upgrade to be had there. Toth isn't great defensively, but he's just such a weapon going forward. Because we'll have more games next year as well, which is something we need to keep in mind as well. Maybe we could do with getting in a third right wing back. Toth is there. Look at the defensive play. I've just been back in his defensive play. He's twice this game now. He's been back there and done excellent. We have the problem too with, of course, Premier League squad limits now and foreign player limits and all this sort of stuff we have to take into account. So, it's going to be a little bit of planning there. Baxter, another left back, came through the academy, just not good enough. We'll say goodbye to him this summer. And the other one is Malakate. Now, we've only got him on loan, and he has done quite well for us this year. But if we can get him back on loan, Elazar is in here. He squares it for Callum Mosley. Oh! Wonderful play, wonderful build-up play. Look at this. Lawrence out to Toth. Toth once again. On paper, he shouldn't be that good, but he's just keeps providing goals and assists. And I mean, that's the sort of the assist to the assist, isn't it? But wonderful play once again. So Malakase, I don't know if we can get him back on loan again or if we want him back on loan. I don't think we want to buy him. I think he's going to be very expensive to buy. Oh, that's poor defending. Come on, boys. We're better than that. We'll give it a concentrate. That was poor. Richarlison, what's he, 60 million, 50 million pounds he just went to Everton for? He was okay, wasn't he, the start of last season, but come on, 50 million pounds for half a season? No, thank you. So I think what we might do is we'll just take pause there. I want to have a look at Les Lloyd up front, and I want to have a look at Jordan Sawyer, just to help make a decision, and you guys can help me with this too. What do we want to do here? Are these two good enough to be at the club? I think Les Lloyd is, to be honest. It's Jordan Sawyer particularly that we're looking at. Lawrence Bennett isn't having his best game. I'm almost wondering if we need to do a demand more here, actually. But yeah, let me know what you think of Malakase. The thing with him and Davidson and Suter as well is that they weren't they? They're triple towers we had at the back, and in League One and the Championship, they were brilliant. I just feel like now there's a good ball. Lloyd just couldn't quite get onto it. Cox is just as good in the air. Sheeran isn't terrible. Neither is Casija, or however we pronounce that. We have Busanel as well, who's strong in the air. So I just feel like we can have players now that are just as good in the air, or almost as good in the air, but also can play a little bit more than those guys. So I think a part of the evolution of the team is going to be, unfortunately, saying goodbye to Malacase, especially given that he's on loan. If we can get him back, that maybe that's one thing. Les Lloyd, unlucky. Goalkeeper made the save, so it was a decent chance, wasn't it? He did well to get that on target from that angle. So here we go. Liam Mason goes deep. It's gone for Bennett. What are we going to do here? What sort of magic? That's a nice ball. Keeper claims it well, just as Ed Sheeran was waiting to pounce. So yeah, as I said, any thoughts you have on how and where to strengthen would be appreciated. But that's what I'm thinking. A little bit of a clear out, just get rid of the leftovers from League One and the Championship, and obviously we need to strengthen big time for a Champions League campaign next season, which is so exciting, isn't it? I can't wait to see the group we get. I remember with Villa, our first game in the Champions League was against Real Madrid, and we absolutely smashed them 3-0 at home. Bought out a DVD, if my memory serves me correct. So maybe we can do something similar here. Go on, Les Lloyd. Oh, unlucky. Yeah, so I haven't seen too much of Sawyer and Lloyd. A couple of decent chances from Lloyd, but nothing too much. Oh, just a quick mention too. I've dusted off the old New York City FC save that I had when the game first came out. So we're taking on MLS, the first episode of our second season after I did a million different drafts. Lloyd's in here, squares it nicely for Sawyer. It should have been Sawyer. In fact, it was Lawrence Bennett who was there, which begs the question, where was Sawyer? He's probably back defensively, wasn't it? Really good counter-attacks. Lloyd's done brilliantly there, and Bennett tucks it in expertly. Nicely done. And Lloyd, I think, is proving he's going to be a useful squad player for us. But yeah, so if you're interested in MLS, I've always sucked when it comes to drafts and trades and salary caps. I'm shocking. So if you want to see how I struggle through that, oh, decent header from Cox. Yeah, check it out. It's a bit of fun. It's something different, and especially if you're not American and don't understand how trades and salary caps work. I get the concept of salary caps, but there's all different sorts of contracts. Anyway, go and check out the first episode. It's in the playlist. Episode 14 is the first of the new season. You can go back and watch the first season if you want. But yeah, it's something different and a little bit of fun. But there it is. Our first season in the Premier League comes to an end. 3-1. Disappointing not to keep the clean sheet. Toth, once again, man of the match. He's just defies his statistics over and over again. I don't know if you get players like that, don't you, where they just seem to be so much better than they should be. So let me know any players you've had like that in the past, the statistical attribute defying players. But there we go. There's the final league table. Stoke have gone down. Oh, they needed that win. Bristol City have jumped out. Now they won. They did win final day. So we sent Stoke down with that result. So superior finishing, I would agree with that. Chelsea win the league. Toth out 6-7 days, that's fine. So guys, wait right there, look at that. 35, almost 36 million pounds in the bank. And the squad bonus, 800. I think we've ripped them off with their bonus. They deserve much more than that. But guys, wait right there and we'll be back momentarily for our end of season awards. Okay, just before we get to the end of season awards, we were named Premier League Manager of this year, so I think that we just about deserve that, don't we? Bringing a promoted team to third in the league. And Scando in the Premier League Team of the Year, which is nice as well. But onto our end of season awards. Elazage, Player of the Year, absolutely walked that, didn't he? And it's hard to disagree. 76% of the vote ahead of Scando and Arosa really high up there. Griffiths, his absolute worldie against Arsenal. Cannot disagree with that. It was a stunning strike. But make sure, as I say, goal of the season after this episode, that'll be one of the choices to vote for. So make sure you stick around to see that. And the others, Callum Mosley, signing of the season. Yeah, wouldn't disagree with that. He cost a lot less than Elazage, so maybe that comes into it there. Although Ortiz has got to go up close too, doesn't he? Because he is what, 400,000, and he's the Elazage Young Player of the Year. Our actual team of the season, Vazquez in goal, fair enough. Davidson, Ed Sheeran, and Malacase. Yeah, they were probably the most consistent players, weren't they? So that's probably where they all get the nod there. Scando and Toth down the wings. I don't think we can have complaints there. Arosa and Griffiths in midfield again. Pretty hard to disagree. Curtis Jones ahead of Lawrence Bennett. Not sure I agree with that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Elazage had to be up front, and Ortiz only came in late, didn't he? But really got us across the line in what otherwise would have been a difficult season, I think, or difficult end to the season. Stats-wise, El Azhaj, top goal scorer with 21. El Azhaj also leading the average match rating with 7.51. That's not bad for a first year in the Premier League. Toth, 11 assists, leads the way there. Mason, 85% pass completion, best in the team. Most man of the match awards, El Azhaj, hardly surprising. And Njoku loves a booking, doesn't he? 9 yellow cards. And Malakase with our only red card of the season. In terms of a season review, we can see massively exceeded expectations in the league. Cups, semi-final in the Carabao Cup wasn't bad, was it? Just got outplayed by Chelsea in their 4th round of Arsenal. That was what we were supposed to do, according to the board, and we got absolutely smashed out of that. Match of the season, the 5-3 against Villa. That was a stunning game, wasn't it? Earlier on in the year, I think that was almost the game that made us believe, I think, wasn't it? Low point, the 2-0 against Man City, again, early on in the year. I think a couple of those games against Arsenal were worse. Average attendance is higher. Now, we have agreed to expand the stadium, only by 7,000 seats or so. But, yeah, we'll have a little bit more capacity for next season. That should be ready for the start of next season. And highest players used in the league at 29. If you've been with me from the start, you know that I love to use all the players we have available to us just to see how everyone goes. And, of course, I think it helps with match tiredness as well. So I always look a little bit of a badge of honor when I have the most players used in the division. Squad dynamics, we can see Njoku, Suter, and El Azhaj are the team leaders now. We could be losing 2 of those through the summer, so it's going to be interesting to see how we come back from that next year. Mason has been a team leader before. I'm sure he can step up. Maybe Griffiths as well. Scando or Toth could make that step up for us as well. Callum Mosley even's been around with the squad for a while, even if it has been on loan for most of it. But guys, that's it for this season. It's been an absolute blast, hasn't it? We'll be back on Thursday to start next season, review the preseason, and obviously our transfers as well. If you have enjoyed this season, make sure you leave me a thumbs up. And if you're new, welcome to the channel, first of all, but make sure you're subscribing. We're going to have Forest back in the Champions League next year. What can we do? Can we win it? Doubtful, but you never know. So until Thursday, when we begin a whole new adventure, I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you so much for watching. And here are our goals of the season. Be sure to go over and vote at my Twitter for your favourite at Aussie Villain. We'll see you Thursday. Take care. And here they are, the top 4 goals of the 2026-27 season. Vote for your favourite now on Twitter.